Absolutely. Now let's talk about earnings, because Prashant has done some number crunching. Prashant, we are halfway through. And how's the scorecard?
So this is the first of the two pieces I'm going to put out on earnings, because only 50% is done. Yeah. Let me just go across to the wall, tell you how earnings are looking this time around. What we're going to do is what we did at the end of the third quarter as well. Third quarter was a disaster, and it was a disaster because we saw so many more downgrades to full year FY24 estimates as compared to upgrades. So there was hope in the fourth quarter that because raw material prices have softened, numbers will look much better in the fourth quarter. Is it panning out to be? So I counted NSE 200. I mean, it covers large cap 50, nifty 50 companies, and it covers the next 150 largest companies. So it's a pretty good representative set. And as of yesterday's business close, exactly 100 out of the 200 companies have reported numbers so far. So let's get to it. How many companies have seen, and I've kind of split this into two pieces. One is earnings, companies which have seen earnings downgrades of over 5%, and companies which have seen earnings downgrades of over 10% to full year estimates, FY24 estimates, based on what the fourth quarter, FY23, looked like. So 17 companies out of the ones which have reported have seen earnings downgrades of over 5%. You have 8 companies which have reported earnings downgrades of over 10%. So this is the downgrades picture. Similar exercise for upgrades as well. And, the numbers are on your screen. Companies with earnings upgrades of over 5%, 12. So upgrades are lower as compared to downgrades in the 5% category, and also in the 10% category, although here the gap is smaller. 7 companies out of the ones which have reported, only 50% have reported, have seen downgrades of over 10%. Now let's come to stocks, right? That's the real meat of the earnings season. Which are the companies which have seen the largest earnings revisions downwards over the last 1 month? Remember, it's almost exactly 1 month since the earnings season started. So the logic is, since companies started reporting earnings over the last 4 weeks, 1 month, how have earnings expectations for the full year 24 really moved? And these are, what I've done is I've divided into sectors as much as I could. So this is pharma, and you can see Laurus has seen a 27% cut in earnings for full year. Piramal has seen a 20% drop. Gland Pharma has seen a 6% drop. UPL has seen about a 14% drop. The next one is sort of consumer durables, consumer staples, a little bit of basically pricey stocks. So look at Adani Wilmar, 15% cut. ABFRL for the second straight quarter, very steep cuts in earnings estimates. UBL, of course, numbers disappointed, 12% cut, 13 nearly. Voltas has seen a 6% cut. Whirlpool, Dabur are some of the other names where we've seen earnings being brought lower. The next is financial, right? I mean, this is interesting. We had Pankaj Tibrewal in the morning telling us that, according to him, the momentum of earnings upgrades, even for financials, is stalling in the fourth quarter. I'm looking at outright cuts here. Bajaj Finserv, 11% cut. HDFC Life, Yes Bank, HDFC AMC are some of the names which have seen downgrades. Tech and New Tech Mahindra, Zomato are on your screen. And then I end with, a bunch of names here. Bharat Forge, Tata Communications, and NHPC. These are sort of some of the big downgrades that we've seen. Now we come to the upgrades, really. And again, I bunched stocks as much as I could together. Paytm, big upgrade. Numbers were good, and the market has been constantly revising expectations high because they're closer to profitability. Adani Green Energy is another one. Markets have sort of upgraded earnings, although coverage is low here, I must point out. You look at P&G Health, the other one. Tire companies, right? It started with MRF, 15% upgrade. Apollo Tyres, Balakrishna Industries. Financials, where we've seen upgrades. AU Small Finance Bank, 25% upgrade. Stock's done very well. Chola Finance is almost a 4-digit stock now. Poonawalla FinCorp. And then you come to a lot of Tata Group companies. Look at this. Tata Chemicals, Indian Hotels, and Trent. So different sectors, but from the same group which have seen upgrades. IGL and ABB India are the other ones where we've seen upgrades coming through. As I said, this is the first of the two sort of pieces I will put out, because we've only seen earnings from 100 out of the 200 companies. So there's going to be another one coming. But so far, I would say it's sobering. It's not exactly the kind of quarter many were hoping for, with raw material prices dropping, etc. As they say, stocks are slaves to earnings, and the earnings right now are kind of mixed. They're not one-way clear out there.
I think, Prashant, the big taking point is that instead of a fear of, downgrades, that's not happening. So I think that's supporting the market as well. There are not big downgrades coming in. as far as the quarter four earnings are concerned. I understand the last half will be a bit disastrous for many, but largely till now it looks like there are more upgrades than downgrades, and hence that's also supporting the market.
Nimish, actually, if I count the number of downgrades, they're more than the upgrades. So you look at this, number of earnings, companies where earnings have been downgraded by more than 5%, 17. Upgrades are in this 5% category are 12, 17 versus 12. And over 10% is 8 downgrades, and upgrades are 7. Okay. And this is the first half. This is the good half, right?
Yeah,
as they say,
half,
the second half, for whatever reason, I mean, numbers start to deteriorate. So we'll have to watch.
Okay, well, let's move on. PSU banks is something that Nigel is tracking. They've underperformed this week. Is there any specific reason for that?
Well, it's part